All right, we are live now. I'm just going to tweet the link out. There we go. Okay, so we'll just give people a little while to join. I guess I'll introduce you guys. Obviously, as usual, I'm joined by Sam. Hello, Sam.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, not doing too bad. Pretty good. I mean, still out in the sticks, so not very much to do here other than walking, which is pretty nice in itself. How are you doing?
I think I've exhausted all the walking options around me now. It's like if I want to go anywhere different, I've got to go up a big hill, and I'm not about that.
Can't have that.
Yeah, no, I'd rather repeat something mindlessly than go up a big hill. It's too much.
Nice. I'm also joined by General Kenobi again. He's returning.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. How are you
I feel
doing?
like I've just got to keep doing it now.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
Next time, when I can summon the energy, I'll do a better General Grievous impression next time. How are you doing?
Expect full voice changer.
Yeah, you'll hear the arms splitting off.
Yeah, doing good. Pretty standard weekend, really. So just chilling.
Yeah. I guess continually asking what people are up to every week is like, yeah, still can't go outside, still stuck where I am, can't really do anything.
Went to the supermarket, stayed at home, didn't go to the pub.
Is it legal to go to the supermarket anymore? I don't even know.
You can only go one person per household.
You see, like by Easter you might be able to meet up with another family outside. Like, oh my god!
Everyone's been doing
wow, that is very generous.
The freedom. Can you imagine? Yes. Depression. I can see. Oh god, I've got to pronounce this now. Eurysthenes in the chat. Hello. I'll give people a couple more minutes.
That is quite the name.
I don't know who that is. I'm aware of the guy on Twitter, but I don't know where the name comes from. If I'm honest, I probably should.
He was a great grandson of Hercules.
Oh, that would explain. Yeah,
you've also Wikipedia'd it.
I have. No, I'm just really smart.
This guy did classical civilizations GCSE. Did you
have that up north?
I can't remember. Wait, did you do classics GCSE or was that who am I
did.
Of?
Wait, are you talking to me? Or?
Yeah. We were in the same class.
Yeah, we were in the same class.
Trust me, it wasn't me.
Yeah, they didn't have that up north. They want to keep them dumb.
I had metalwork.
Is football a subject up north?
Yeah. Mythical King of Sparta, apparently. Oh, that's not something I'm that familiar with. Halcyon Daisy says he thought he'd come and say hi. Hello there. Shut up.
That one wasn't even intentional. I just said it.
He's gotten so used to it now.
To be fair, I say it all the time at work.
It's quite common whenever we talk on Discord, you'll hear like the sort of doo-doo of Discord starting, and then it's immediately followed by hello there. I just associate that noise with somebody saying hello there now. Okay, so we've got a couple of people in. We've got 6 people. Well, may as well have a start. So I think today we're going to have a chat about Mars in general, in honor of the landing of the rover, the Perseverance rover this week. So we'll be talking about that as well. I've got a cool animation video of that happening, and we'll explain how that worked, what it's doing, what missions it's part of. We'll also have a look at what's already happened with regard to Mars and what the plans for the future are. I mean, the plans for the future are basically just what SpaceX is up to, because I tried to have a look at what NASA is planning, but it's all just so pathetic that it's like, oh, we might send a rover at some point. It's like, and then SpaceX are like, yeah, we're going to build a city of 1 million people.
We're going to go there and kick your rover over.
Exactly, there's a bit of a disconnect there. They're going to go and trap it in some cage and watch it bump against the wall.
Just there, flipping it off.
Like
they'll just
moon
turn it on
base
its
versus. Is it NASA that wants to go back to the moon? I think Boeing was on about getting involved.
Yeah. I mean, they're a bit more involved with the moon. They're sponsoring a whole load of companies to do so. I mean, we can do that. We can do a whole episode on that as well, because there's a lot going on there.
It's like Virgin Moon Base versus Chad Mars Colony.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the moon bases would be quite cool, and they seem to be very well,
yeah,
they were
it would
very
be cool,
serious.
to be fair.
They were very serious about that under the Trump administration in America, but now that Biden's in charge, part of me is like, well, maybe they'll start canceling all the NASA stuff because Obama wasn't that good on it. I mean, he did kick off some of the moon stuff, which Trump brought forwards.
I don't know. Biden seems to be going against everything that he said he'd do already. So
I wouldn't put it past him to just be like, yeah, Trump did it, so it's bad, therefore we don't do it.
Possibly.
I think
But ironically, what he's been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's depression. We'll see how the private sector handles it. Okay, so if we can have a look at kind of the planet itself. So, for anyone who's not familiar, Mars is the fourth planet in the solar system. It's actually surprisingly small in comparison with Earth. Like, people kind of think it's a similar size to Earth, but it's actually significantly smaller. It's between the Moon and the Earth in size. So, it's one example. It's actually, yeah, as I say, it's only got something like 40% of the gravity. So it's attractive in a similar way to the Moon in that it's actually not that difficult to get off from it. I mean, the industry is probably easier if it's got lower gravity. As I say, it's about 40% of the gravity.
So probably hit my weight target a lot easier on Mars.
Yeah, so if you go there and you can start deadlifting, you'll basically be Eddie Hall.
Sweet.
You'll be that good.
I'm not that far off already, so.
No, of course.
Half a ton ain't shit.
Well, half a ton on Mars would be, I don't know, 120 kilos.
Oh, it's easy.
It's like, I say when I was at my peak, I wasn't far off that. So.
I think my peak's 160, so.
Yeah,
easy.
Exactly, yeah. If you went to Mars. Actually, wait, no, what am I talking about?
Now box me.
No, it would be 200, sorry. It would be.
Yeah,
I can't do maths.
Fine, room of dreams.
I'm not boxing you either. That's never gone well before.
Treat for long limbs.
Yeah, well, for reference, Sam's quite a bit. Well, you're a few inches taller than me. Whenever we've done sparring in the past, I've normally
a few inches makes a difference.
I normally break something.
Stop hitting my elbows.
Yeah, I definitely broke my foot for a few months from sparring you.
To be fair, I think I would say I broke a lot of toes sparring.
Yeah, it's not the best. So yeah, I guess Mars is an attractive target because of the lower gravity, because it's like an actual other planet. It's not just a moon. There's a lot of there is some atmosphere on there as well. It's obviously quite thin compared to Earth. There is supposedly water ice on the poles. Liquid water, I don't think has been confirmed, but there's some evidence for. Not that it's much of an issue if you've got solid ice, but it's also, I think, the easiest planet to get to from Earth. The orbits, I think there was an animation of the orbits somewhere. I remember seeing. Oh, here we go. Well, that's a bit crap. Yeah, it's not that much further out than Earth.
How long ago was this bloody made?
Yeah, that's zoomed in a bit. I mean, yeah, this isn't to scale, obviously, but
no, isn't it?
No. It's not that much further out than the Earth. Like, if you wanted to go to Jupiter, that's way out, and that's the next planet after Mars. So it's also in fairly close proximity to the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt's between Mars and Jupiter. So there's resources and shit there as well. So yeah, it's quite an attractive destination, and also just for the sheer cool exploration value. If you want to boldly go, then I don't think there's a better target. It's like, are you going to go to Venus? Really, that place is hell.
I was just thinking, like, in terms of like planets with a surface, it's the only one that we could actually survive on, I guess, at least currently.
With our current technology, yes. I mean, it's -80 or something Celsius from what I remember, which is cold, but it's not like the Arctic doesn't get much colder than that. Well, I don't think it does. I don't think it quite gets that, but it's not that much warmer. I guess once you go past -20 or something, it's not that much different.
There's turn on more radiators.
Just more power. The atmosphere obviously is not suitable for life for us, but you know, we can live in submarines. We have Arctic bases. As I say, like it's not. If you can survive on the moon, you can easily survive on Mars. I think the soil you can actually grow shit in. I don't.
I saw a movie about that.
I think The Martian. Yeah, obviously The Martian is the bit of the movie. But I think the part where you could actually grow crops is realistic. You may have
I believe the science of that was fairly accurate.
Yeah, I think the one science problem I had with The Martian was I don't think the winds get up to that powerful enough to knock stuff over or blow away your base.
Oh, the massive storm at the beginning.
Yeah, which is obviously the premise of the movie. If you haven't seen it, but yeah, that's kind of why it's a reasonable destination. I mean, yeah, Venus and Mercury are kind of out because they're just hellish. Venus especially. I mean, there's talks of being able to survive in the upper atmosphere of Venus, like it's hot, it's sort of 70 or 80 degrees, but
turn into a prison planet.
Oh, the floating cities.
Yeah, like the pressure is all right, but I think it's at the point where the pressure is Earth is sort of comparable to Earth. The temperature is like 70 or 80 degrees C, which is reasonable. Mr. Naysayer, isn't there an issue with perchlorates in the soil? I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm definitely not searching
biology.
that word.
I am not a botanist. As I say, I mean, there's a lot of. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that with current kind of what's the word, advancements in hydroponics and that it would be difficult. Sort of.
Yeah, they've been growing things on the space station for years now.
True. I mean, I'm sure you can bring something with you to a fertilizer or whatever to get the soil to be reasonable. I mean, the red hue is iron oxide from the surface, so obviously that's not mineable iron. It's all tied up in oxygen. It's rust, basically, the whole planet, which is why it's red. But I guess the key point I was making is that actually it's quite small compared to Earth, which is people tend to think it's a similar size. And there is some evidence that there was liquid water on it before.
It's a beautiful image.
It's a good image, yeah.
Oh, it's not just impression. But it still looks nice.
yeah. I mean, these are real pictures for the carbon dioxide.
That looks like it could be like the top of a coffee or something.
It does, yeah.
Cream on it.
Yeah, this is carbon dioxide ice, apparently.
Okay.
Cool. The carbon dioxide is quite heavy in the atmosphere. Which, you know, is not too difficult for growing plants as well. Just trying to think if there's any other cool images. I mean, this is obviously false color from asteroid impacts. It's got 2 moons, which are quite small. I think that there's some talk of them actually colliding at some point in the sort of long, far-off future.
That'd be cool to watch. Not if we've got a Mars colony, but
I mean, look, if the moon, shit. So if the moons of Mars collide, it'll probably form. I mean, if they're on the same plane, it'll form a ring like Saturn. If they smash into each other and shatter up into little pieces, so you'll end up with rings around Mars.
That's also pretty cool.
I mean, imagining what you know, what they would look like from the surface. You know. Oh god, I mean, Mars is quite often because it's the closest planet to Earth, and it's been quite prominent in the night sky for all of our history. It's the red color. It's been associated with gods and demons and that, and people have looked at it for possibly life coming from there, aliens. So there's obviously War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells.
It's the entire thing behind Perseverance, isn't it? Looking for life.
Yeah,
not quite as cool as that, but
yeah. I mean, if you imagine the Mars rover landing on Mars and just see this giant tripod walking across the horizon.
Happened in the Transformers films.
I was about to say,
yeah. I kind of love the idea of the sort of, because H.G. Wells was a long time ago. You know, it's Victorian pretty much, 1906, so it's Edwardian. But the old historical ideas of what alien life could look like are just so fascinating to me.
Yeah, definitely. They weren't obsessed with them looking like humans.
No, and I think who was it? It was Cringe Walker who was on last week. I was talking to last week. He was telling me a while ago about there was like a prequel or a sequel to War of the Worlds. I mean, War of the Worlds was 1898. where basically it was the first kind of artist's impression. There was like an artist's impression of it all, and there was the first artistic visualization of what a space fleet would look like. And this is like 1901 or something. So this is pre-World Wars. This is quite cool. So obviously people were already thinking about that way back. So I guess we can move on to, rather than just, well, I'm going to go to another Wikipedia article. But we can have a look at all the sort of past missions to Mars, and you'll be surprised how early on they were.
Because I don't actually know a lot about the history of the missions.
No, well, I've got a whole list of them here. So there are only these countries have sent stuff in that direction. Obviously, the European Union not being a country, and the Soviet Union no longer existing. The UAE, I'm quite surprised by. And I think we did.
I wonder what the UK sent.
We'll have a look. The UK one's in conjunction with ESA as well. There's no way we've done our own ones. But I mean, if you look, they're sending stuff. The Soviet Union is sending stuff as far back as 1960.
Jesus.
And that's like, as I've said this before.
Oh, wait, it says launch failure.
Yeah, but the successful one was.
They're trying. They're trying. That's the main thing.
But this one failed to. Is that failed to orbit Mars or launch? I guess failed to orbit Earth. So this one, I guess, got into orbit of Earth and lost before the flyby, so the communication was lost before it got to Mars. But that's 1962, you know? Like, they were struggling to get biplanes made in 1912.
Yeah,
you know, like, it's 50 years, and then 50 years after 1962 is 2012, and what they achieved. They've gone from biplanes to launching stuff at Mars in 50 years, and another 50 years, and where are we?
We're killing the planet.
We're in the dark ages, boys. So the first successful flyby of Mars is in 1965, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is insane.
That's 4 years before the moon landings as well. Yeah, and the V2s were in the 40s, and those are the first suborbital rockets. And that's 20 years.
20 years after.
They're shooting them at Mars. 20 years ago, we were in 2001. Sorry, 2001, which the level of change in that amount of time is insane. It's interesting that the Soviet Union didn't get anywhere near until 1971. And obviously, they were kicking NASA's ass with regards to the moon at that point and sort of low Earth orbit. But it was NASA kind of jumped ahead for the moon landings. But then with regards to the Mars, NASA were actually doing pretty well, which is quite interesting, I guess. So imaginatively named Mars 2. And they did the first impact on Mars. But it failed to land. Oh, it crashed into the surface. RIP. F for Mars 2. So they tried to land a rover in. Okay, so yeah, flyby means it's just going past the planet, and they can get pictures and that. Orbiter means it gets into orbit, and I presumably is either still there or has crashed. Rover, I guess, is something to land on the planet and move around, rather than a lander which just lands and stays where it lands. That's still interesting stuff, though. I say 1971. Yeah. That's just so long ago.
71 to get a rover on there. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, so the first. Okay, so this NASA one, I've heard of these ones, the Mariner missions. I mean, the Soviets were actually sending missions to Venus around this time, as well. And the Soviets actually, I think, have the only photos of the surface of Venus, which I can actually find quickly. I know this is a slight tangent, but
yeah, they basically sent a huge, like, lead-lined sarcophagus with a camera in it. It was unreal. And it only lasted a few minutes because it's just so insane on Venus.
It melted.
Yeah.
Have we got these pictures? Because I recognize them if I saw them there. That's a false color picture. Where?
They got pictures of the surface, didn't they?
Yeah, like these ones. Yep. Like this.
Yes, and you can see the base of the lander, and it just looks like steampunk.
I said this is what, like, I think it's the 70s. No, this is a Reddit credit pick.
Venera 13. There you go.
1982. As you say, it does look kind of steampunk. The sort of steel and lead and gears and stuff out there. I mean, a lot of the ways they land. I mean, we'll get onto the ways they land the rover stuff because they are crazy. I think some of the ones they shot at the moon, they had airbags for landing, which is just insane. So this one, not deployed, was only 4.5 kilos. So this is like a tiny little remote control car, rather than the huge ones they land now. Okay, so Mariner 9 was the first American orbiter and lasted for sort of nearly a year and a bit, year and a half. And I guess it's probably still there, but just dead, I suppose. If it's deactivated, not burned up or anything. It's quite weird thinking, you could go back there and find these little machines still up there.
I guess without knowing further detail, maybe it was just like the dust covers over the solar panels. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or they actually just deactivated because they don't need it anymore. But
probably.
I don't see why they would, because they could always use it again. Maybe. I don't know.
They're probably quite expensive to keep the connection with.
Yeah, possibly.
It's probably related to cost. They don't want to support the mission anymore, and they want to close that section of their organization. Presumably, I don't know how NASA works. But presumably, they have people associated with each mission, so they need to reassign those people. So
yeah, that's true.
If there's no one assigned to it, they'll just deactivate it because it's a dead mission. Which is kind of it's the way government agencies do space travel, is that they do it a mission at a time. They don't do it as a sort of open-ended venture. It's always right. We're going to do this, and this, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Let's go fly by. Let's go down, see if I can find any rovers. Oh, so wait. Okay, so these ones are the ones going to the moons. Yes, they're going to Phobos and Deimos, so the two moons of Mars. They're named after the sons of the Greek god. So those are the Greek god or Roman god Mars, and then his sons, I think, Fear and Terror. They mean in Greek, Deimos and Phobos.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so obviously Phobos like phobia.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
So that's where it comes from. Okay, so now we're getting onto the more modern ones. This is now Russia, not the Soviet Union. No, it's in 1996.
Still failing.
And they're sending penetrators now, which I guess is they both failed. So F for the penetrators. Ooh. And here we have Sojourner, which is the first rover. Is that how you pronounce it? Sojourner?
I guess.
It's the first rover to operate on another planet, which is actually sick. In 1996, that thing is as old as we are, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's what is it? Oh fuck! This one. Mars climber orbiter approached Mars too closely during orbital insertion attempt and burned up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, software bug. I learned about that one at uni.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of my modules was about space robotics.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
That's sick.
And yeah, a lot of software bugs in some of them, which is just tragic.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I was looking at we'll come into the animation of the one that landed this week, and it's like, how do you test this? I'm just thinking of the unit testing for this stuff. Like, you have some sort of rocket-powered parachute lander, and you're like, they don't drop it from orbit on Earth or anything to test it. And it's got to work first time, otherwise you've lost billions.
Yeah, it must be stressful, to say the least.
Can you imagine?
I mean, a lot of the robots, they actually fly them out to where is it?
Well, the Mojave Desert or something in America.
I can't remember what it's called now. Begins with L. It's quite volcano-y. Bear with. I'll remember it at some point.
What, in America? Or...
No, it's not in America. No, it's completely lost.
No.
Lanzarote? Is it Lanzarote?
What, to go for a party or something?
Lanzarote.
It might be Lanzarote. I can't remember. Is it quite volcano-y in Lanzarote?
There's a volcano, yeah.
It might be there then.
Well, fair. I have no idea.
But yeah,
they
there's basically there's a
right.
particular island which is quite volcano-y and quite rugged that they test all of the rovers and stuff on.
Yeah, I'm thinking more the landing of it, which is just like they use these crazy.
Yeah, the landing is. I mean, have you seen like the test footage of Neil Armstrong testing the lunar lander, and like it nearly crashed and he died, but he ejected at the last minute.
Yeah, so, I mean, the 60s
for automated ones, it must be like
60s astronauts are just another level. Those guys were fucking insane. Like it's actually mad thinking about it because, as I said earlier, it's like 15 years after the first suborbital rocket. These guys have never done anything like this ever. No human has ever done this before. And the guys are doing the maths themselves. Like Buzz Aldrin did a lot of the orbital mechanics himself for the moon landings.
Giga-Chad energy.
Exactly. These guys, they all drive like Corvettes.
There was a car dealership near where they were all based that offered like really good prices for astronauts, which is why they all had the same car.
They all had these Corvettes that just drag race around the runways in Cape Canaveral. Or?
Yeah.
These guys just have the unbelievable energy. That's what we need for space pioneers, not the nerds they send up now.
It's true.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, we're gonna take our time because you might die.
Nah, space chads. Fuck safety.
We need our space chads, yeah. I mean, to his credit, like I was watching Elon Musk on Joe Rogan the other week because he did a more recent one, and he was saying basically, yeah, people are going to die. Like we've got to kind of get used to that. It's not going to be some resort for the rich, which is what some people think. It's going to be a harsh colony.
Yeah,
which is realistic, you know?
Yeah,
it's proper exploration.
Okay, we've got the UK one here, which is Beagle 2.
Yes. There was a problem with the solar panel mechanism, so the solar panels couldn't open, so it lost battery like straight away. So it was a pretty big failure.
F.
But my uni actually discovered it because basically no one knew where it had landed because it lost power. But my uni was doing image processing on loads of satellite images, and they basically found it by using this processing.
Oh, wow.
It was in 2015, I think.
It wouldn't have been buried because I said the wind's there are winds on Mars, like there aren't winds on the moon, and that's why the footprints are still there. But on Mars there is a bit of wind, but I guess it wouldn't have been buried by sand or dust or whatever.
I guess it would take a long time. It is quite dusty though, isn't it?
That's what it says here. Orbital images of landing sites suggest a successful landing, but 2 solar panels failed to deploy, obstructing the communications. That's sad. So so Rosetta did Opportunity is a famous one as well. That was active for a long time, like because they use sols. They use sols for days, which is strange.
Well, I guess they have to give it a different name
because it is Earth days, I guess.
48 minutes, is it? 48 minutes difference.
I don't. For the
between sols and days?
I don't know actually.
42. It's like 48 or 42.
So it's Earth days, I presume, not Mars days. AI Shy Tory says, "Red faction lads, no more." He want. We'll get on
about that Mars homo.
We'll get on to helicopters on Mars in a bit.
It is a thing.
That is a thing.
Hasn't flown yet.
That'll be sick though. I'm going to watch that. So then Rosetta, which is the famous. This is actually called.
Landed on the comet.
It is, yeah. So one of my first tutorials at university that I had, the guy was going over how they calculated all the gravity assists for this. So
that's cool.
They were aiming for this specific comet, and they had to know where it would be in like a decade's time when they launched it. And then they had to bounce it off like 4 different planets to finally end up and intersecting with this comet's orbit. And they had to calculate it all like 10 years in advance, and it's just unbelievable that they timed it exactly right, so the thing went straight past it and was able to get captured by it. But yeah, one of these planets that it bounced off was Mars. So the Rosetta was the actual probe. Let me see this slightly. Rosetta was the probe itself, and Philae was the little lander that it landed on the comet itself.
Oh, okay.
And that
the one which landed in the shade.
Yeah, there's a really sick image. So that the comet itself, as you can see here, it looks kind of like a rubber duck. So it's got one large bit and then a little sort of head poking out. In fact, let me open this up. Yeah, so the comet landed in the sort of neck of the duck.
Yeah.
So you got like a head and beak and then a body, which meant that it was obstructed by the cliff. But there's this really sick like GIF of you can see the stars and like a load of dust going past on the cliff. It looks like
a snowstorm.
It looks like a snowstorm, and then you realize like, oh my god, that's actually.
It might be on this page.
Maybe.
I don't know if it would be. But...
Oh, here, yep, this is it.
Oh yeah,
yep.
there you go.
But this looks like a snowy cliff in a mountain, like in the Alps or whatever. But no, that's actually the neck of the comet, and it's the actual video camera. Well, I don't know if it's video camera or it's a lot of still images they've put together. But yeah, you can see that some of these lights are stars in the background that are sort of moving at a constant rate, and then some in the foreground. That's not. I don't think that's dust actually. It might be sort of particle like subatomic. Like cosmic rays hitting the lens,
right,
and making these weird trace patterns that you see in cloud chambers. But you can see like in the background there's a sort of cluster of stars going past as well.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But yeah, this is the surface of the comet, not anything on Earth. Yeah, slight tangent.
It's what they want you to think.
Yeah, that's what the government is saying, man. I think the blue ones are the ones that are still going. So the Mars Odyssey orbiter is still there, and it will be for a while. I mean, that one's Mars Express that's been there since 2003. It's 26 years it's been doing its thing. Yeah, we've got some more. What was Dawn? Oh, Dawn was the one with the ion engine, I think. So it's got an electric engine, which is weird for rockets. So it's got it shoots ions out of it, so which are heated up by electric power rather than from a chemical reaction in a normal rocket. So it's super efficient, but it takes forever to accelerate and decelerate. So it's got very little thrust, but it's really, really efficient. And that's I think that was joint with. There was one that was joint with Japan when Japan helped make it. I think that was Hayabusa. There's another one that was going for a comet, which also had an ion engine on it. Oh, and there was India did one as well, actually. 2013. We're getting to the really modern ones now. So that's the Chinese are getting involved now, actually. 2008 or 2011, but that failed. I think the Chinese have only got. That's right. The Chinese
recently got him. Yeah.
Chinese they're sending one. I think it's on its way. Should be getting there in May time. They sent an orbiter ahead to check out what's going on, and then the lander and rover. And then we
arrived. Mars Robot Wars.
Yes.
This is going to land the Chinese rover and just hunts down.
They're just going to ram each
American
other.
One. I mean, this is literally the point of the Space Force, right? Is to protect American assets in space.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
They're going to
so they're going to have a Mars force as well.
They're going to presumably there'll be a Mars colony of Marines or something.
Yeah, it'll be a SpaceX militia.
Yeah, I mean, SpaceX is going to have to start hiring privateers.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
And we just live in the Halo universe.
It's going to end up with a UNSC versus some sort of Chinese equivalent, yeah.
Chinese Covenant.
Exactly. And then I guess we arrive at this week, 18th of February, so that was Thursday.
Yeah.
This
cool.
Perseverance rover landed, and on board it has the first Martian helicopter. So we have AI's getting his wish. We're physically removing people from the red planet with a helicopter. It's my favorite part of this. I don't know when they're going. It's going to fly a couple of times. Like I said, we can have a look at Perseverance.
I'm not sure when the first flight is actually.
We call dibs. It's ours. Yes, America can. I suppose America can have it. It can keep it safe until England turns up. Either that, or we'll take over the moons. We need some trade routes. We need some trade routes to raid, so we'll get the Spanish up there as well. But this is quite cool, actually. So this is a map of the surface of Mars, I guess.
Oh, and this is all the landings.
Where
Is
are the
it?
landers?
So this is the, I guess this is the equivalent of a map of the world, but just on Mars. And this is where they all are. So that's
very cool.
That's actually quite cool. Yeah, I'll look at that later. Mars landing sites. Yeah, and there's a timeline too. So back into the 70s. And then
so that shows you the travel time as well.
Yeah. So and there's a big gap actually. 1983 to 1992, 10 years, nothing really. They got rover and helicopter for the last one.
I guess that's when they were exploring other planets.
There's some more mad ones that are being done and proposed. There was one that was, I think, so the Starship obviously we'll come onto the future stuff later. Sam's nerding out. Right. There was one that was proposed for Mars or Venus that was like a wind powered one. That was, why is Finland sending stuff? It's like, chill out, Finland.
Space Vikings.
Yeah, oh god. And Spain.
It's going to be the Space British fighting the Space Vikings.
the kingdom of Spain is going as well, so we can have some trade routes to raid.
Mars Gibraltar when?
Yeah. People have been to Okay, so we can. Oh, there was the tumbleweed one, which was like an idea for.
Oh, I think I know which one you mean.
It's like a sphere which kind of rolls around, and is kind of just directed by wherever the Martian wind takes it. It's not. It's just like a ball basically that bounces and rolls around with cameras and shit on it. Presumably, it would be kind of like a little hedgehog sphere with springs and things to keep it from breaking anything.
Like a BB-8 or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be cool.
I guess the issue with BB-8 is that on sand it wouldn't go anywhere.
No, I don't know.
I guess it depends. I mean, if it's going to be blown around, it must be quite light.
I would have thought it would be some sort of like spiky hedgehog ball rather than a sort of smooth sphere.
Yeah, potentially.
Because SpaceX they kind of proposed a version of their Dragon thing that's already gone, but I think they're just going straight for the Starship. Yeah.
Or Star Hopper, as I've just found out, it's also called, which I think I personally like more.
I thought the Star Hopper was like a prototype for the Starship.
Oh, sorry, yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just to test the engine, just to test the engines and the fuel tanks and stuff.
Your tumbleweed one's right there at the end of that list.
Yeah. That's what reminded me. Wind-powered sphere. We can have a look at in more detail at Perseverance.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because that's the one that happened this week, so it's quite cool to see. And the way they landed it is insane.
Sky crane.
The sky. If anyone's not familiar with the sky crane system, it is unbelievable. So this is just a video from space. I don't know what the channel is. But yeah, we can have a look at how this works. So this is an animated kind of artist's impression. This is last week. I'll skip it ahead a sec. So it comes in like in a capsule with a heat shield. So just remember, before we go any further, this thing is like the size of a small car. This isn't like a tiny remote control thing. This is like a huge industrial vehicle that they're landing. So yeah, thing with the heat shield. It's got solar panels to keep it alive, which I guess they're ditching.
There they go. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear the audio? I mean, you don't need it really. All you can hear is the sort of noise of the thrusters keeping it aligned. I mean, so there is an atmosphere on Mars to slow you down. It's not. It would probably heat you up a bit, but it's nowhere near the same as Earth or Venus.
Yeah.
So you can slow down with parachutes. Yes, naysayers getting ahead. The Curiosity did use the Sky Crane too, but there wasn't any footage of it. Whereas there is footage of this.
Has it been made public yet?
I've got one picture which I found.
Okay.
They've got it of it hanging.
Yeah. So there's also a satellite picture of it coming down as well.
I've seen that one.
So it comes in as the same as a re-entry on Earth. heating up. So yeah, this is the rover inside its little shell.
I wonder if the rover's nervous.
It's like, I've been preparing my whole life for this.
Mind, the poor thing.
Yeah, so they do have parachutes that do help a bit, which kind of, I guess, I don't know what the speed of sound is on Mars because the air's really thin. It's probably quite high. But I would have thought to get below subsonic, they'd have to have a parachute to, I guess, slow them down a bit from orbital speeds to helpful speeds. The parachute alone won't be enough to stop them from crashing and exploding. So this angle here is kind of where the satellite image comes in. So the satellite image is like this.
Right.
So you can see this is taken from one of the orbiters around Mars. I don't know which one it was. But you can see here we've got the parachute, like we got here. And then you can see the capsule underneath it there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's obviously a tiny little dot here, but zooming and enhancing. We can
CSI style.
We can see the footage here. Yeah, naysayers, as he's saying, he's making Wall-E sound.
Yeah.
Wally.
Wondering where Eva's gone.
Oh.
Oh no. But yeah, then this is where the really cool shit starts happening. After it's kind of got slow enough, I assume. Ditch the heat shield because we don't care about the heating anymore. That falls away and presumably just crashes and burns. Then we drop the actual capsule. Then it drops with its fucking rocket thrusters.
So sick.
So I guess you can see the little thrusters there, and then there's fuel tanks up here. So this thing here onto the top is like a sort of turtle shell with the rocket thrusters on it. It's got some kind of telemetry. It's got obviously an antenna. I assume that's an antenna. There's also a few sort of load-bearing cables down to the rover itself and some data cables as well. So it literally glides around. It also has for the first time an AI guidance system. So it was basically told to land itself as far away from any obstructions as it could do. And when it finally, because it chose its own landing site within a certain area,
right?
And it managed to land itself. I think it was something like 35 meters from any obstruction.
Nice.
So it's not like they landed within 35 meters of where they were aiming to land. It itself chose where to land, and it managed to get 35 meters from anything that would get in the way of it landing. So the higher the number, the better, not the lower the number in the terms of the accuracy here. So that's
very cool.
So yeah, this comes down. It comes to it's like a kind of like it's got like a UFO. Like it just looks like a UFO coming in.
Imagine if you're like a bug on Mars. Just watching this.
If you're a Martian,
fuck is going on?
Exactly. Yeah. So it chooses, as I say, it chooses its own landing site.
Again.
Yeah. Oh god, the aliens! They're coming to
bloody Earthlings.
See, then it lowers it down on a crane. This is why it's called a sky crane because it lowers it down on a cable. See, it lands it, disconnects the cables. And then this thing, I don't know what happens. I presume this just flies off and crashes.
Yeah.
So that thing's disposable, the sky crane unit. And then this thing here, the rover carries on and goes and does its thing. I guess this is the RTG radiothermal thing on the back that gives it power. This is super radioactive. Like, you do not want to be standing anywhere near this. And then it goes and does its thing. You can see Mars 2020.
There it is.
So the Mars 2020 is part of a whole sequence of missions that is going on at the moment. We can come on to, and it goes off and does its thing. Which is pretty sick.
The cameraman did really good work on this one.
Okay, so
with a little jetpack.
Yeah, exactly. Let me find.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing the footage.
But what we have already is this is real. This is a real camera footage of what we've just seen. What we've just seen a animation artist's impression of. This is the actual footage, and this isn't high up. This isn't these aren't mountains and stuff. This is actually rocks. This is it landing like a few meters above the ground. So what you can see here is the jets of the rocket engine actually blowing the dust around.
Right, I see.
So that's what that is, and that is there. And I guess down here you can see some So this isn't high up. This is right before it lands. You see the 3 load-bearing cables there, and the data cable coming up here. Big generator on the back, as I say. I don't know what the arm is for. Is this one of the ones that has a drill on it?
Yeah, this one's got a drill.
Yeah. So this is how it works. So what was
very cool.
Yeah, there's very few things that get me giddy these days. Seeing stuff like this.
This is one of the first images that it sent back after landing. I mean, it on the way down, it took a load of pictures which haven't been processed or released yet, so we should see them in the next couple of days.
They have to mask out all the aliens first.
Yeah. Obviously, they have
to get rid of Megatron's face.
Yeah. But as I say, this thing is massive. Like, it's the size of a car. It's not. You forget how massive it is when you see this footage or these sort of animated stuff. But it is huge. There's nerds for scale. I guess this is testing it going over terrain because each of the wheels is independent, I guess.
Yeah, they control them independently. So
mad
climb
suspension
over stuff. Yeah.
So how do you reckon your Defender would handle Mars without that suspension?
Just let a bit of air out the tyres, it'd be fine.
I don't know. The wheel. They're not tyres, are they? The wheels there.
No, these aren't. No.
Probably got
that's one of the big problems they've had on Mars. Actually, is like what wheels to use, because the rocks are so jagged that they just tear through things over time.
Yeah. I want to see. Well, I mean, I want to see the Cybertruck on Mars at some point.
Just don't throw a glass ball at it.
Yeah, the thing weighs over a ton. So this thing weighs over a ton, which is making that landing even more impressive. I don't know, why is it called Perseverance? Oh, okay, they got students to name it. So
Rover McRovery face.
Mover.
Bloody students.
Okay, so I don't know what things it actually has on it. X-ray lithochemistry. So it's got a few sort of spectrometers for figuring out what the specific chemicals are making up what it's looking at. Radar, ground penetration radar for all the geologists out there finding ice.
Right.
It has obviously so it's got weather sensors, so for temperature, wind speed. Oh, cool. So it's got in situ. So ISIU is in situ resource utilization. So it grabs whatever resources it can find and makes something useful out of them. So this is grabbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and making oxygen out of it.
All right, it's not making tools.
No. Well, I mean, oxygen. This is actually cool because this is the sort of thing that SpaceX or whatever will have to do. Is they're planning on doing this and making rocket fuel and oxygen and breathable air from whatever carbon dioxide they can find. It's got what's a super cam? Okay, so this is what the hell? It's got lasers.
Always cool.
This
cool.
just adding lasers. Oh, so is this a thing where they have the lasers to sort of vaporize some rock and then measure the spectrometer, the spectrum from whatever comes out?
Cool. We've given a robot a death laser.
Yes.
Which is supposed to be
an automated landing. We're basically getting Terminator on Mars.
As long as it's not here.
That's what I was thinking. Like back when we did our military episode, Sam. Tell me, right? We said we've done drop pods, right? Because we can land people from orbit. We've already done this many times. Well, now we've proved that we can land tanks from orbit. So,
holy shit!
My Halo Space Marine dream is coming ever truer.
Yeah, so you do that biogenetic modification episode.
I told you the Space Marines are realistic. I told you 40k Space Marines are realistic.
I know, and I'm willing to sign up. I want to be a 10,000-pound bloody roid machine.
8 foot tall, power armored roid machine.
Exactly.
What was I going to say? Yeah, because imagine your paratrooper regiment, but comes from orbit, and there's like you're the enemy on Mars. You're the Americans on Mars, and you see like 1,000 of these dropping out of orbit.
Oh shit! Just lasers pinging past your head.
Yeah, like
they're all AI based. So
I'm not even like being funny, but the way that if you ever read Starship Troopers, you've ever played the Halo games, this is exactly like the sequence for how they land troops from orbit. Like it's parachute, then rockets. This is literally how they do it in the sci-fi.
So cool.
Except here, there's no AA
whatever.
guns.
Yeah, well,
That's like the only difference.
We don't know what the Chinese are up to.
Flak pinging up around it. But yeah, this is the exact sequence that you'd have to do. Is you'd have parachutes and rockets. That's how you have to land on another planet.
Yeah.
Quickly. Whatever. So they have some sort of arm on it, which I assume has the laser and the cameras on it. They've come these fancy acronyms. You've got Rimfax, Mida, Moxie, Sherlock. That's just showing off.
That's nice. That's nice. People get paid to come up with these.
Oh, I forgot about this. They had microphone footage, so that you could hear. Let me see if I can, because I tweeted about this. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it.
How much would you shit yourself though if you actually heard like some alien language?
Yeah, well, you can hear wind, and you can hear the microphone like servo motor as it turns.
Yeah.
If you hear Chinese, that's when you should be worried.
The Chinese. Let me see if I'll do this, and I'll reshare the screen so you can hear the audio. Okay, let me just pause that. Pause. And I'll just quickly reshare just this tab, because the StreamYard audio sharing is weird. Brave tab. I'm going to assume it's... Hang on. That one. Right. Okay. So if we listen carefully, I'll turn the volume up as well.
I still can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything?
No.
Fuck.
No, I don't think I can.
Oh, I didn't press the share audio button.
You idiot.
That could do it.
I'm very smart. There we go. Share audio.
It's late in the day. Don't put yourself down too much.
Boomer.
Right, let's try again.
There we go.
That's so fucking eerie.
I know.
I'll be honest, this just looks like somewhere in the lakes. A little bit drier.
It looks like a desert on Earth.
Yeah.
Like Utah or something. That is cool.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is, yeah, you never know.
What's weird is actually, so on Mars, because the sky is normally pink. It's like the opposite to Earth in that during the day the sky is pink, but at night when the sun goes down, it goes bluer.
Right.
Because I think it's to make up the atmosphere. I don't know exactly why. But yeah, so what you can
so
hear.
You're saying this is in Utah?
So I'm saying either it's in Utah or it's in the evening on Mars or the morning. But the buzzing, the sort of whirring you can hear is the crane, like the arm moving with the microphone sort of rotating. And you can obviously hear the wind as well going past it. And it sounds like, if you're taking a bad recording of as you say, the Lake District or something, you can hear the wind in your pop filter on it, to be honest. Yeah, you got all the equipment on the back as well. I guess that's the is that some sort of hook for the sky crane?
Assume so.
Possibly. Yeah.
I don't know. That's the big radiothermal generator as well. But yeah, how sick is that?
I don't know whether to be amazed or terrified. I'll be perfectly honest. There is something unnerving about it.
It's that bit there where it gets really loud.
Yeah.
It's very eerie.
I'm just expecting it to turn all the way around and something be there.
There's just like a guy on the hill.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. So now you guys know what Mars sounds like.
My life's complete.
Very cool.
So yeah, it has the microphone on it. Yeah, so as I say, in the next couple of days, we should have more images. And yeah, there was some stuff about set people. The NASA always has to come up with these really gay public relations stuff, like send your name to Mars, geocaching in space, tribute to healthcare workers.
Oh, fuck off.
Of course,
it's going to clap every week.
That's what the arm is for.
Oh god, is the audio new because the video is that that's not curiosity, is it? It had the.
You just lied to us, Johnny.
Maybe I have.
You bastard.
Wait, hang on.
I did kind of feel like I'd seen that video before, actually.
Okay, let's compare the. Okay, we'll do a bit of maybe Mr. Naysayer is right and I'm bullshitting.
Because if you look, there's tracks behind it. Has it already been moving?
Yeah, there was a tweet then saying it was curiosity.
It's not.
Oh,
Unfortunately, fake.
TV, so.
Yeah. Ah,
no,
fake news. Fake news. God damn it!
Fake news live on air.
Fake news live on air. Well, thank you for fact checking that, Mr. Naysayer. You can see curiosity written on it. Hang on. So where does the audio come? Oh yeah, he's right. Yeah, it was there. You can see it. If I zoom in a bit.
Just press full screen.
Shut up. Yeah, there.
Can't see it because of the Mr. Naysayer.
The comments blocking it.
Oh, for God's sakes. Oh.
God, you are shit at this.
Bloody boomers.
Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. All right, well, thank you for checking that. It looks very similar though, the back, I guess. I guess it must be this. They must have.
I'd imagine it's the same design.
Yeah, because you can see the big thing there, and the circular thing there, and the hook there. Maybe we've all been lied to, and this is curiosity as well.
Yeah, but Wikipedia never lies.
Wikipedia never lies.
I wonder if it might even be the same chassis with different
potentially
probes and
wouldn't
stuff.
surprise me. I mean, so we've got a color photo as well, which is pretty sick.
Very cool. Yeah, that's
Very
quite
cool.
that you were talking about it being blue.
Yeah.
So,
And is that the sun then going
guess,
down? I suppose.
I would have thought so. Yeah.
So yeah, sun going down.
I guess it's going into the evening.
Blue sky at night, shepherd's delight. What was I going to? Hazard avoidance camera as well. Yeah, so I guess it has its own imaging system. I think the cool up. Oh, it's this fucking healthcare thing.
Yeah.
That is pretty gay.
Asclepius, like.
It looks a bit
snake thing.
Global reset-y.
Calm down.
It's the NHS that's going to come for it. They're going
Future generations going to Mars will be able to appreciate healthcare workers during 2020.
So as they land, they have to clap.
Fuck me.
Jesus.
Oh, that's just depression. What we can talk about, though, should we talk about helicoptering some healthcare workers on Mars?
Yes.
Oh,
where is... I saw a link to... So this helicopter is called Ingenuity. It is a drone, like you'd see on Earth, but it's got co-rotating rotors rather than, obviously, four sets of rotors. It's actually on a solar panel on top.
Pretty cool.
This is quite small.
Yeah,
How big is it? Because it's tiny. And what if battery capacity?
It's got dimensions there.
Oh yeah, it's like the size of a shoebox. Then I guess. Probably it's a bit smaller.
Way?
Although the rotors are small. The rotors are quite big. The
Under
rotors
2
are like
kilograms.
Yeah,
I guess they'd have to be because it's thinner atmosphere.
Yeah. You're right. It'd have to be light and with massive rotors. And it's electric, I'm guessing, if it's got a solar panel on it. I mean, that's another thing that Musk was saying about on Joe Rogan's podcast was with electric engines for flight, you don't really have a limit on how big the rotors can go. Whereas for jet engines, you can obviously only make your engine so big in diameter.
Yeah, that's very true.
Food for thought. But yeah, this is really just a sort of tech demo. It's not really like
it's just a proof of concept. But
yeah,
first
it's still
flight
cool.
on another planet.
We have helicopters on the red planet, so who's laughing now?
Yeah. I think the camera from the rover is going to point at it, and then the camera on it is going to point at the rover while it flies.
Yeah. It's a
both angles type thing.
It's a PR stunt, but it's a pretty cool PR stunt, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, imagine how much more you could explore if you were able to perfect this.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the point, isn't it? Like rovers are so slow; they go like centimeters an hour. The earlier ones, whereas
a Mars Apache could go pretty far.
I identify as an attack helicopter on
Mars. Martian attack helicopter.
But yeah, can you imagine getting like a quadcopter drone up there? Those things have long range.
That would be sick, yeah.
I'm thinking more like Halo Pelicans. I've been playing a lot of Halo recently.
I mean, if they were able to make some kind of plane with a large wingspan, that would give them the biggest range.
Well, yeah, I mean, coming into land rather than using the sky, as cool as the sky crane is, having some sort of glider that lands like a plane would be. I mean, I guess landing on a rocky terrain is hard.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
Maybe you could have some sort of VTOL glider that just uses all its aerodynamics to slow down and has like reversing engines to land properly.
Yeah, like at the last minute, it does the sky crane, but for most of the journey, it just glides down.
Yeah, I mean, that's only going to be great for getting stuff from orbit. Like, it's not going to be good for getting from Earth to Mars, but I don't know. Maybe that'd be better on something like Venus or Titan. It can use autonomous control, so it's okay. So it's actually it's not remote control, because I guess you can't really use remote control because of the light delay.
Yeah,
like it's nearly an hour.
Yeah, it'd be impossible.
It's nearly an hour. They say that its flights will be telerobotically planned and scripted by controllers. So yeah, it's flying itself, but it kind of is told roughly where to go.
Yeah, so it'd be like, go here, go this fast, stuff like that. But everything else it does itself.
Yeah, so
and we can do that with drones on Earth right now.
Yeah, for sure.
You can buy one for a few £100 and do it from your phone.
They have those giant like drone displays, don't they?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I mean, there was the one above London with the communist fists at New Year's, which did you not see that?
No.
Oh my god! Right. So this is the New Year's London New Year's display drones. This is a tangent. Yeah, they have a bloody NHS Tom guy.
No.
So this is the official. This is the official London firework display.
The Sadiq can't have a hand in it by any chance.
Potentially.
Of course
they've got a Nightingale. They've got thank the NHS. They've got Tom Moore doing a suspicious salute.
Looking an awful lot like Bernie Sanders there as well.
They've got, what was this? Oh, this is the most cringe like Zoom call humor.
Yeah.
They've got
boomer humor. Oh, I think
BLM fist was that?
BLM fucking communist fists above London, like.
This is why we need to go to Mars.
I've never seen a more conquered looking city than having a symbol like above a symbol like that above it, and it multiplies into multiple different ones.
Been televised.
These are all drones. So the upshot of that is that this sort of shit is possible with drones. You can just kind of tell them where to go, have a whole swarm of them. I don't know how it's powered. I mean, it's powered by solar power, right?
I mean, there's one on top, I imagine. So
I guess it detaches because it's supposed to land a couple of times, or fly 1 to 5 times within 30 days.
Up to 90 seconds per flight. So
I guess it lands on the ground,
we'll
recharges
have a battery on, and
because it's not going to come and land back on the rover.
I doubt it.
I don't know how it detaches. Or
Probably be too risky.
Yeah.
If it could break both of them.
Attached to the underside and should be deployed to the surface, and then the rover. Okay, so it sticks it on the ground. The rover drives along a bit, and then and then it flies a bit after that.
Right.
Fair enough. That's actually quite sick, though. I really like this idea. I mean, this is like another step in. This is something that's never been done before. Like we've done plenty of rovers, we've done plenty of orbiters, but like a helicopter on another planet, that's new.
Just powered flight on another planet.
Yeah, power. That is very, very like groundbreaking, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Big fan of that. So one thing before we move on to sort of future stuff is this. So this whole thing is part of a bigger program which is being undertaken. So the idea of this is that where's it gone? Perseverance has its sort of sample gathering stuff. So it's got its arm, it's got a drill, I think we said on it, ground penetrating radar. And the idea is that it picks up some samples, and then it, in the future, so in the not too distant future, NASA launch another mission with a sample return pod. So it basically puts the samples. So they land this sample return pod, like a drop pod, near the Perseverance rover. The Perseverance rover drives over to it, dumps its cargo into that pod, and then it fires it back at Earth.
That is very cool.
I love this so much.
So and then it comes back, and we have. So I don't know whether it does ISRU stuff.
ISRU.
In situ resource utilization. So it as I said before, I don't know whether it's going to be making its own rocket fuel when it lands, which would be incredible. So this is the Mars 2020 program. So this is Perseverance landings. This is the first step in Mars 2020. Perseverance rover and helicopter. Where's the sample return? Yeah, fetch rover. That's where the key mission requirement for the Perseverance rover was that it must prepare NASA for its MSR campaign. What is MSR?
Mars sample return.
Oh yeah, it says a little bit above that.
Yeah,
Mars sample return.
Which is needed before any crew mission takes place. So you got an orbiter, a fetch rover. The fetch rover is Perseverance, and a two-stage solid fuel Mars ascent vehicle, MAV. Oh, that's what it's called in The Martian, the MAV.
Oh yeah,
Mars ascent vehicle. Yeah. So the idea is that the solid fuel engine is like a firework. Like you light it and it just goes, and you can't do anything about it. All you can do is steer. You can't throttle it. You can't turn it off. Whereas a liquid fuel one you can. They're used for sort of boosters on the side of the big rockets that you see. So I guess we can go through this slideshow. So this is Perseverance. It's the one that's landed already. It's got its arm with its drills on it. It picks stuff up, I guess, and then this is a future mission that lands. It unfolds these solar panels. Is that another rover?
I think they're reaction wheels, aren't they?
Potentially. Yeah, so the reaction wheels, they spin and create gyroscopic forces, which helps it point in a certain direction without using any fuel up.
Oh my god, that one looks adorable.
Yeah, that is.
It's like a little face.
Like a duck or a chicken or something.
Yeah. It looks like it's got a little baby one on its shoulder as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that then.
Oh no, that looks like it is another rover.
Yeah. So this thing picks up the samples off it, and then it fucking yeets it back at Earth.
You brought Perseverance a friend.
I wonder how big that will be.
I mean,
to have enough fuel to get into orbit around Mars.
Well, as I said, Mars is actually not that hard to get to orbit from, because as I say, it's small, and the atmosphere is quite thin. I mean, I'm comparing it to Earth, and as I said, the atmosphere is significantly thinner, and the gravity is about 40% of what it is on Earth. So yeah, you just let go, and send it back with a solid fuel motor. I guess that sends it to orbit, and then it links up with the orbiter. I guess it's kind of similar to the Apollo missions where they had an orbiter and they send something down and back up again.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to Earth, and then presumably re-enters on Earth, and then it lands in the Caribbean, so America can pick it up, presumably. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's linking back up to the orbiter. Yeah, this is some cool designs. So you got all the
it's pretty cool
core samples and things. But yeah, I don't know how Perseverance rover. Okay, so this is the NASA ESA concept. So okay, this is a joint European American. Perseverance rover will collect samples and leave them behind on the surface for later retrieval. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think I heard that it was ESA who was going to bring it back.
Brilliant. Okay, yes. Yeah, so I was a bit confused about why you got multiple rovers. So what this is the Perseverance picks them up, stores them in these canisters, and then just leaves them.
Shit's right.
It's kind of just scattered on the surface, and the Perseverance can go off and do its thing and probably die in a couple of years. And then later on, in like a decade, they can come ESA and can come back and pick all this stuff up. That's quite cool though. Okay, so Perseverance rover will collect samples and leave them behind. After a launch in July 2026, that's 5 years' time, a lander with this Mars Ascent vehicle. So the Mars Ascent rocket is done by NASA, and the sample collection rover is done by ESA.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And the ESA-built Earth Return Orbiter. That's quite cool, though. Yeah. And then it arrives in a decade from now. It gets back to Earth. So
cool. So a decade from now, we'll do the stream again and catch up.
Yeah. And then
I think ESA are looking for astronauts at the minute. I think
meanwhile, Musk is chilling in his Mars resort.
He's just there kicking the samples about. You want these? No. You want that? No.
He just moves them a few millimeters.
He just like waves it in front of the rover and chucks it off like fetch.
While flipping it off.
Yeah, exactly. In his power armor suit.
That's what I wanted to reveal next. That's the next Tesla product. It's just a personalized armor suit.
Yeah, China. What the fuck are France doing? Right, the French are going to Mars. We need to get there first.
Do they have guillotines on Mars?
Not yet.
Not yet. They don't know. We need to melt down some cannons to build some stuff. Okay, so I guess we've done past and present. We can move on to future. I've done a bit of future, I guess, from what NASA are planning with Mars. I suppose we could nerd out over SpaceX for a bit.
Yeah, okay.
Fine. Let's do that. Let's go to SpaceX website because Musk just set up shop in Olympus Mons. He needs a volcano there, like any good supervillain. I concur.
That is cool.
That's a good idea.
So this is a great quote that I really like. You want to wake up in the morning and think the future is going to be great. And that's what being a spacefaring civilization is all about. It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past. I can't think of anything more exciting than going out there and being among the stars. I like that.
That is very good. I like that.
That's the kind of the sort of thing that people say that there isn't very much. Like, people have the idea of the future, and there are two, and they've got in their head. They've got this cool future among the stars, sort of Star Trek style, or they've got the dystopian hellhole. And obviously, I want to be able to offer the cool one rather than the dystopian hellhole we seem to be going towards. We need to push towards that one rather. So we've got heaven or hell, I guess. So yeah, why Mars? Mars is cold. Well, Musk was talking about nuking the ice caps of Mars, which is interesting.
Apparently, the science behind it is pretty sound.
Oh yeah. Basically, his idea was that rather than, because obviously it's further out from the sun than Earth is, so the sun's weaker. But you just make your own sun by yeeting nukes into the space above the poles, and just having them go off one after the other in the same spot. So it's like a sort of pulsing sun. which
That'd be weird.
is reasonable.
That's reasonable.
Okay, why not? I mean, we've talked about building Dyson spheres on this channel before. Like, it's the
yeah. Okay, fair.
compared to that. I mean, oh yeah, that's what you said. That the day length is only 37 minutes longer than on Earth. Distance from Earth is
Right. Yeah.
mega kilometers. Is that?
Yep.
Mega miles.
Or is that million?
Same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the 6 months to get to Mars is interesting because
longest time.
Yes, but that's only because of how efficient the rockets are. If the rockets are more efficient, then you could do it faster.
Yeah, it's all to do with the propulsion technology, which he spoke about on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's the trajectory you take. The trajectory you take. I mean, maybe I can explain it slightly with a diagram. So we've got Mars, Earth, transfer. There is a diagram. Well, yeah, this is it. This is good. If I open this and zoom in slightly. So, obviously, Earth and Mars are spinning around the sun. Yeah, I mean, sorry, look at the chat. Nuclear ice caps that release CO2 would create a greenhouse effect. Yes, also just to warm it up and to have access to liquid water. But yeah, you could do that as well, release CO2. So you basically wait, and every 6 months they line up in this configuration with this 45-degree angle. At that point, you launch your rocket from Earth, or you have it already in orbit of Earth, ready to go at this point. You launch out parallel to the direction that Earth is traveling, but give it a little bit of a kick. Because obviously when you're orbiting in ellipses, so this is one of Kepler's laws, planets go around roughly circular, but it's actually an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci of the ellipse, so the center, one of the two center points of the ellipse. Whatever happens is if you're orbiting and you fire your engine, all that does is make the other side go out further. Yeah, so if you shoot your rocket that way, as you're orbiting around, all that does is make this circle more of an ellipse and it goes outwards and back, rather than being a circle. Yeah. I mean, that's actually how it works, though.
KSP is like scarily accurate.
Basically simulator, isn't it?
Yeah. So all they're doing is timing it exactly right, so that as you fire it, you make your ellipse a bit big. You make your orbit a bit bigger into an ellipse, such that the other side of the ellipse intersects exactly with Mars at that point when it arrives.
It's quite easy, really, isn't it?
It's kind of, yeah, you're sort of juggling the orbits and the timings and where you're going to be and where Mars is going to be. And it just so happens that you need to wait for this 45-degree angle. And this happens about every 18 months, I think, that it lines up in this, that the two planets line up like this.
Right.
And this travel time is about 6 months. So you've got a sort of 25% sort of window. But you can imagine, in the far future, you'd have whole fleets of ships leaving at this one time. You don't have to send one thing at a time.
Oh, that'd be so cool to see.
Well, you would. I doubt you'd be able to see them because the distance between them would be so great. But yeah, it's a cool image. But yeah, that's.
I guess in the future, like if you've got orbital stations around and fuel isn't a problem, you might be able to just brute force an encounter. Yeah,
so that's what's called a Brachystetrome. I don't know how to fucking pronounce it, but Brachystetrome trajectory. I've got too much of a stammer to say it properly. But basically, at this point here, you point your rocket at Mars and you just fucking fire it as hard as you can, rather than trying to be clever and line it up. For the whole time, you just go fuck it and you shoot it, and you fire the engine for the whole distance. So for this, what you're doing is you're basically firing your engine such that your orbit goes out this far, and then you cut it off and you just kind of coast the whole way. And then you slow down when you get there. But in the other situation, I guess lowest efficiency, highest speed, you fire your engine for the whole time, build up as much speed as possible.
Pointing at Mars for the whole time.
Just pointing at Mars until you get to halfway, and then at halfway you turn around and slow down for the rest of the distance.
Right. Yeah.
So by that point, Earth has moved a bit and Mars has moved a bit, but you will end up getting captured by the gravity if you time it right. So you could do that. I think it's something. It obviously this is 6 months or so, but you could probably. I think it's. I don't know how to fucking spell it. I don't know. I can't even begin to spell it. Like you can look up how to. Mars quickest transfer. I'm hoping that it has some sort of.
Brachistochrone? Is that
That's
it?
the one. Yeah. How do you spell that? Can you put it to me?
BRACH.
BRACH.
ISTO.
Yep.
It's CHRONE.
Brachistochrome. Oh god, this is some maths. Ugh. Okay.
It's not like you did that at uni or anything.
Shut up.
He's very sensitive about that.
Hang on. We've got this here. Terra Luna.
Fucking hell. My engineering maths doesn't go this far.
Do we not have it here? Or what would be the acceleration? Space stack exchange.
Of course there is.
To Mars.
Exchange for anything.
Guys, my rocket blew up. Find the bug for me.
So what do I do? Yeah.
It won't print "Hello World." Help.
Leaving Earth. Okay, so this is saying. So I guess the caveat, the cool thing about this is that you could get your engine. What's the image? You could get your acceleration right, so your fuel output right, so that you have exactly 1 g of acceleration the whole way.
Oh yeah.
And that means that you, rather than building your rocket like a plane where it's sort of horizontal, you build it like a tower block, so it's vertical. Which is how they do it right now. So that would mean, so I'm thinking some sort of sci-fi spaceship. That would mean that for the whole time you actually have gravity. So Earth like gravity walking around on the inside of your spaceship.
Oh no.
Sam's just creamed himself over. So we've talked about gravity rings before as a way of getting gravity, but this is another way of doing it.
And then when they decelerate, you'll have to move all the furniture to the ceiling.
Well, no, you just flip your rocket round. You just reorient it. You just
have to bolt it down as you rotate them, I imagine.
No, I guess maybe.
Yeah, but if you flip your rocket round, the ceiling then becomes the floor.
No, it doesn't.
You what, mate?
That's not how it works. So
Well,
think Newton's laws, right? So the reason you feel the force of gravity as you're accelerating your rocket is because the floor is being pushed into you, which is the same as when you're on Earth, you're being pushed into the floor, right?
Oh yeah.
So if you imagine if you're sat in
the wrong way around,
if you're sat in the chair and the rocket engine is below you and firing, then regardless of what orientation you're in, you're still going to feel the force downwards.
Yes, yeah, I get you.
You're right though. If you're rotating and things aren't tied down, then yes, they will get thrown around. But for the whole time that you're firing your engine, it will be fine. So that's quite a cool idea, but I don't know how long it would take. Is that another one? Oh bloody hell! I don't know. I want to know how long it would take though, because this is not something I know about. Oh, that's sick. Is that another Robert Heinlein book I haven't read? What?
Is this possible?
They're doing this is yeah, I'm not looking into this anymore. We'll go back to SpaceX. So because there's 14 orbiting, I guess these are man-made satellites, right?
Yeah, it must be.
I mean, look, if Musk can do Starlink on Earth, and if he manages to do it on Mars, then that gives him a monopoly on Martian internet, which, like, this is East India Company level of
ownership,
corporate power. Like the guys think
if there's anyone I would trust with a monopoly, it's probably Elon Musk.
I don't know. The guy has made most of his money off exploiting the public sector, which not exploiting, but like, yeah. So this is the rocket they want to use to get to Mars. His idea is to build a city of 1 million people in our lifetimes, which is a bloody tall order.
Oh God, I hope it manages it.
The purpose of this is that it can take 100 metric tons to Earth orbit. So this rocket here. So there's 100 tons within this. So that's 100 tons of cargo. That's on top of the weight of the ship itself and the fuel and everything. I think.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, that's ridiculous. This will be bigger than the Saturn V that took people to the moon.
Nice.
So it's deceptive.
Saturn V is still the most powerful rocket ever built, isn't it?
It's the most powerful machine ever built. Yeah, I think it's the largest machine ever built.
Very nice.
So yeah, this and then so the idea is they fly this up once, it drains all its fuel to actually get into orbit because it's so heavy, and then they fly another one up that's full of fuel rather than cargo, refuel it, and land it back down again.
Okay.
Cool. And then you end up with one that's fully fueled in orbit with all the cargo, which can go off to Mars. That's the idea. That's the idea. Yeah. So here's a cool diagram. I'll zoom in slightly. So that's the Starship for the notation, and this is the super heavy rocket. So it's like an iteration on the Saturn V design, where you have these fins that sort of get it into landing. You've got all these engines at the bottom and some other fins to help it steer. So the idea is that they want to start off by having this power plant and in situ resource utilization plant on Mars. So they're converting, I think, is that CH4 is methane, right?
Yeah.
CH4, so methane and oxygen comes from water and carbon dioxide. Water and carbon dioxide being ice and the atmosphere on Mars, and you get methane for fuel, which they're using, and oxygen for breathing and oxidizing the fuel. So I guess that's what I say. The plan is that you have one with the cargo on it coming up here, and then they land the booster back down again, the same way they do with the Falcon 9 at the moment. Then they fire a second one up with all the fuel in it, dock them together, refuel the first one, and then land them both back down again. Then the one that's already there goes off to Mars. It does its cool aero brake maneuver, flips around, lands, refuels, and then when it needs to, it can take off from Mars by itself, because obviously, as I said, the Martian atmosphere is so thin. It's got very little gravity compared to Earth. Flies back, does its flip land maneuver, which they've already tested, and lands again, because it'll be a lot lighter here because it'll have used up a lot of its fuel. So it's easier to land on Earth. That's the plan. And yeah, here's the in-orbit refueling stuff. It does look like a sci-fi rocket, like from the 50s.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So they have these two of them that dock together, you see? So I guess this is the cargo one, and that's the fuel one.
Oh, this is so cool.
I know.
We sat here watching a screen.
This is the shit that
there's
the
people
guy
actually building this.
The guy wants to do it in the next 5 years. It's not even decades. Yeah. It's like 5 years.
We could get into that industry in 5 years.
His timeline. Oops, shit. So the landing maneuver is the one they've already tested, and it's blown up twice. But we can watch one of the tests actually as well.
Oh, it's so cool watching it.
I don't know if you've seen that, Sam.
I think I have.
We'll find it. We'll watch them anyway. I'll just find them.
Yeah, I'll have to see it again.
Starship test. Okay, I'll just save that on that tab. Yeah, so it enters the atmosphere, decelerates, because it flies unlike a. It doesn't fly like a plane or like a rocket. So the point of this is that they say that it flies like a skydiver, like a guy in a wingsuit. That's the idea. That's why it has these fins at the top and the bottom, which can sort of move by themselves. That's how they. I don't know much about aerodynamics, so I can't comment on how reasonable that is. But the idea is that it comes down and it basically flips around and burns with the engines to land at the last minute, land vertically. And you can see these square things inside here are the landing legs that shoot out the bottom to land on. So it takes the whole weight of the vehicle. What I don't know what they're going to do, I assume they're going to have some sort of cargo crane to get shit out, because it's going to be like a tower block landing on the planet. And it's like, I've got to get stuff out of the top of it.
Yeah, I guess they must do.
So I'm guessing that's what this is. Yeah, exactly, like a giant crane or lift or something that comes out of the side. I don't know. And yeah, that's the official SpaceX website. So if we just open up this. So this is SN8. So this is the first one they tried. I don't know about the second one. I know they both blew up. But I mean, spoilers. So this is it taking off. So they're just testing the top bit, the Starship itself, not the super heavy booster, and it's only on 3 engines. Rather than you see here, there was so they've got interestingly, so they've got these 3 engines here are for atmospheric use.
Yeah.
So
and then the bigger ones are for space, I guess.
Exactly. So what the thing about rockets in the atmosphere is you have to have a smaller bell on them because of the aerodynamic forces around the bell kind of keeping the fuel exhaust going in one direction, if that makes sense.
Right. Whereas
if you're in space, you have to have the bigger bell because there's no aerodynamic forces doing that as well. Because obviously you want your... If your fuel exhaust is kind of escaping perpendicular to it, then that's not forcing you in one direction, because the point is that you conserve your momentum by shooting it backwards, so you go forwards.
Yeah.
If it goes up to the side randomly, then that's not going to help. So the bigger bell kind of ensures that it all goes in one direction, whereas you don't need that for the smaller ones because of the aerodynamic pressures. So that's how that works. But they're only testing it with the 3 central ones here. There's no the big ones. They don't have them yet. So it's going up. First engine. Okay, so one of the engines. I don't know whether the engine died or they turned it off by itself, on purpose.
I think there's supposed to be only 2 powering on.
Oh, so I guess they're testing the sort of redundancy of it.
Yeah.
So then
I think that's the one part I did catch of the Joe Rogan podcast, was he was saying in the future what we're going to do is just set all 3 off and hope that at least 2 of them turn on. And if all 3 turn on, we'll just turn on.
Well, the hard part about landing these is that if you're facing your rocket engine basically into the wind, then you end up with gases getting blown all over the place, which is something that SpaceX has actually done, which wasn't thought possible. This is why I think it's part of the reason why NASA's never really looked into reusable rockets, like self-landing rockets like this, is that they didn't think it was possible to light your engine while it's facing into supersonic wind.
Bitch-like behavior.
Yeah. So, and this is the sick part. This is where they flip it around.
Flop.
Yeah. I say it looks like a skydiver rather than a. You see the actuating fins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And then it flips around and they just drop it out of the sky. And it's kind of eerie watching it. It just seems to sort of float down.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like a UFO.
I was thinking this when I watched it. It just looks.
It doesn't look real.
Right.
And the thing is, this thing is enormous. Like it's the biggest flying.
It's the size of a skyscraper.
It's the biggest flying vehicle ever built. This thing. just this prototype vehicle is the largest thing that has ever flown. I think heavier than air thing that's ever flown. I'm assuming the Hindenburg or something's bigger. It's the largest heavier than air aircraft, which is insane. And then they light the engine, attempt to flip it around. This is the maneuver I said they're trying to land it as, but they fuck it up here. So this final maneuver is how they land it and how they're trying to land it on Mars. He says only 2 engines firing there.
I'm pretty sure it is only supposed to be 2.
That's such a good shot there.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? And that gives you an idea of how big it is as well.
Exactly. Remember, this is the first time they'd ever tried this maneuver. And it blew up, yeah.
Everyone loves a good explosion, though.
Oh, yeah, it just makes it cooler.
So that maneuver has never been tried before by, I think, any rocket, at least. That's the first time they'd ever done it. And the fact that it flipped around and reorientated itself, it was just the timing that got wrong. Everything else was pretty much perfect. So yeah, that's sick. That's sick.
So cool.
I just want to go to Mars, like right now.
I just feel like a kid again looking at this sort of stuff.
I wonder if they have any stuff about what they plan on for Mars. That's Earth orbit, space station, explore Mars and oh yes, that's where we were before. So let's see if we can find anything about the.
This is peak capitalism.
That's the thing is that. Glorious. Well, SpaceX and Musk take a lot of government money.
They do, yeah.
They're not. They're treating the government like a customer, basically, and I prefer it if they did it in their own sort of free market way. But what world do we live in realistically?
Well, yeah, I guess he's using what he can use
as available to
in the current system.
I mean, they are doing it somewhat with like the rideshare stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're planning on sending Mr. Beast to the moon.
Wait, what?
Nice.
No, that's real. That's real.
I remember hearing about
that. Mr. Beast moon.
Come on, you can spell.
Mr. Beast is going to the moon.
Of course he is. Christ, I wish I got in on Bitcoin.
The guy, yeah. So he's got sponsored by I think it was some billionaire or whatever to go do a video around the moon. When SpaceX is there a... Oh, I can't find anything there. I swear I saw this. Like maybe it needs fact checking again. Mr. Beast, how to put Mr. Beast is going to the moon. Who knows?
Yeah, it's just some child's video.
Yeah. Some child, yeah. So yeah, they are selling tickets to sort of moon tourist missions, which is cool, and to the ISS as well. So they are raking in money from that, and they're also doing obviously contracts for various governments. Yeah, I think they've helped the Indian government, the Israeli government, for putting satellites up.
I mean, if you really wanted to, if you've got 50 grand spare, you could get one put up yourself.
Yeah,
SpaceX rocket.
Yeah. It's affordable compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
If you're enterprise, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're selling to enterprises saying if you have a satellite, we will put it in orbit.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool. I do want to see if we've got any detail about their Mars city. Which, because this is like a sort of North Star dream, rather than this is all like the Sun or the Daily Mail. Can we find something that's reasonable?
What are you trying to say?
I mean, it's not the best. I mean, you got all these concept images. I mean, this is one that he showed in a presentation a while ago. So you can see the launch sites and stuff. So that's in the space. That's the SpaceX image. I considered nicking it for the thumbnail actually, but I think a lot of
don't
these
wish to anger our new god.
God Emperor, yeah, and this sort of thing. That's moon. That's moon. Well, it says moon base, but that's definitely Mars.
That looks so cool.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, we can be depressed and have a look at the NASA plans.
No, don't ruin it.
No, let's do that. I'm gonna just entirely blackpill you. So this is NASA. It looks good on the face of it, right? Be a Martian. Mars needs you. Uh-huh. This is just a PR campaign. It's just some artistic posters they've produced. There's no actual job postings.
Typical government.
It's literally just these cool looking posters. That's it. That you can download.
Damn.
This just feel like something from BioShock.
Wait, click on their careers page and see.
Blue Origin have got a what I was looking before.
Do you think they'd just post it on LinkedIn or something, or would there be like some cooler way of being like, yeah, we want astronauts?
I don't know. What was it? The Cicada 3113 something from years ago. That was supposed to be like a CIA recruitment drive.
Oh right, yeah.
Where it was like all cryptograms and bollocks like that.
Oh yeah.
They're just like fannying about, really. Just like, we're gonna send some robots. We're gonna do a risk assessment, obtain knowledge.
Yeah,
it's like, just fucking go.
Just build a rocket, fucking live stream it blowing up, and rinse and repeat until it works. That's all
I don't think
get more and more money.
I don't think SpaceX or any of those or Tesla have ever bought advertising.
No, they haven't. Tesla has never spent any money on advertising,
which is genius.
They also recently binned their media relations department as well.
No, not needed.
So they're officially not talking to the news anymore, which is hilarious. But,
just like must do all the talking on podcasts.
Yeah. Literally. So with regards to Mars, NASA are doing jack shit, really. With the moon, they're doing all right. Like there's all these programs. There's a lot of private sector sponsorship. So we can do a whole thing about that at some point. There's the whole Artemis.
Yeah, program. I think they've got Boeing and Lockheed are doing a big
and Blue Origin
moon-based thing.
There's Blue Origin. There's one called Dynetics, I think.
Dynetics.
Blue Origin is Bezos, right?
Yeah.
Get Prime on the moon. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Just all deliveries of drop ship now.
I think it's Nokia and Vodafone are partnering to do a 4G on the moon thing, which I guess is cool, but yeah, it's not as exciting as Mars.
Still pretty cool.
I mean, I will rate the moon for that sort of thing. Like it's a stepping stone, you know. It's if you fuck up, you're only like a day or so away rather than months.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, provide a continuous flow of scientific information and discovery.
Wow,
God, why did he just make it sound so boring?
Yeah, like look at the website as well. The web design compared to the SpaceX one.
It's just some boomer shit, isn't it?
Boomers. Goddamn boom. Ooh,
we'll make it look like Instagram. Kids will love that.
Okay, boomer. That's a bit better. Oh, that's sick though. I like that.
That is cool.
Yeah, that was
credit where credit's due.
Whee. I mean, I guess that's the
basically SpaceX is the Apple of rockets.
Well,
if you look at Apple's website, it's like
I'm sure,
like really cool modern kind of thing.
Don't know about web design, you know.
I think, to be fair, the problem is that NASA gets their money from the government, so they have to sell why it's worth doing. Whereas Elon's like, it's worth doing because I said it is.
Cool. It's cool. That's all you need to know. Give me your money.
Yeah, I mean, we should be looking at this like the new world in the 1500s. You know, it's if you don't go for it, then you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, definitely.
And like people didn't go to America because they necessarily wanted to live there. I mean, they didn't want to live where they were, and there was all sorts of trade opportunities. They didn't go to America, plant a flag. I'm thinking of like the Captain Cook stuff where he just goes to an island and plants a flag and says, "This is England's now," and just leaves. That's the equivalent of the moon landings. Then you get like the Mayflower, or I'm thinking of Charles Darwin in Galapagos Islands just going for scientific study. There are definite sort of similarities in the mission profiles. What we haven't got is, as I said, the Mayflower. People go in there because they want to.
Because they want to just build a new world.
Yeah, they don't like the world we're currently on. Waste of money. What about the NHS? Don't even get me.
Oh my god!
I've actually lost friends over shit like that the last couple of weeks.
Sorry, go on, Sam.
I've genuinely lost friends about arguing about the NHS over the last couple of weeks.
It's just such a money pit. It's a money pit compared to the sort of opportunities this could offer.
Just bin the NHS and put that into Mars exploration. Sorted.
Yes. Chad, yes. Oh, man. I guess we can start bringing this to a close. I mean, I know it's not... we normally go for 2 hours, but I haven't really got that much else to say on this. Have you guys got anything?
2 hours.
Have you guys got anything to add?
No, not really.
It's probably the most interesting thing that you can talk about these days, I guess.
Yeah.
Except everything else is just depressing.
Further, well, I mean, that's the point of Elon's quote, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to tape that to the back of my door just every morning.
You want to wake up and think the future is going to be exciting and great.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to aim for.
Some shit dystopia.
Yeah, as I walk to a job that I hate, I'll still have that burning in the back of my mind.
Oh man, we'll end on that depression.
And on that depression,
that should be how we end all of these.
And on that black pill, yeah.
On that black pill.
I mean, look, if Musk is off in his time scale by like 3 times, that means they want to land on Mars in 15 years as opposed to 5.
To be fair, that's still pretty fucking cool.
Exactly, I'll take that. You know.
Yeah, it's not like not within our lifetimes.
Yeah, so we'll be 40 instead of 30.
I'll be interested to see the American government trying to stop him. Because, like, if the first people to land on Mars are just like
private citizens,
are just random private citizens, like, I don't think the American government's going to be very happy.
Yeah, but they should have just done that.
We'll find out.
Oh no, the Chinese
keep going.
To be fair, they'll probably be NASA astronauts because SpaceX don't have their own astronauts. Yeah. They with the Crew Dragon stuff, they just use NASA ones to test it with. So I would have thought they'll come up with.
Oh, were they NASA? I thought they were SpaceX astronauts.
No, they were in their SpaceX suits, but NASA basically said, "We need to put some guys in the space station. Do it however you feel you can, so long as it complies to our safety regulations and that."
Right.
We'll give you the people, but SpaceX put them in the suits and in the capsule.
Fair. Well, yeah, I don't see any reason it wouldn't be NASA astronauts to begin with. Them. That seems like a pretty easy way to get the government on side.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I guess if they can convince NASA to ease off on the regulations.
Well, I know that they've already got into trouble. NASA, I think, or there's some launch regulatory body that.
The FAA.
Yeah,
something about that.
They interfered with them testing the other week for I can't remember what the reason was. So we'll see if they get into. I mean, we'll just come to the UK, SpaceX. Come on.
Yeah, just go to Scotland.com. Well, sorted.
It was something to do with the FAA being like your diversity quotas aren't filled, despite the fact that they're not allowed to hire non-American citizens.
Yeah, there was an article about someone saying that they were not given the job because of more racism. And it's like, you're not an American citizen. We legally can't hire you.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw.
But if they came to the UK,
they're starting to set up.
Yeah.
Gaz from Essex really wants to go to Mars.
I'm all for that.
Just give the British public like a taste of colonizing somewhere.
We've been gagging for the past.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Years
and look what happens when we don't.
There's an ancestral longing in every Englishman.
It's just this genetic urge that we just can't press down for too long.
The Saxon heritage, yeah.
Weatherspoons on Mars. Let's do it.
Boys, when there's spoons on Mars.
Weatherspoons, Greg's, and a chip shop. There we go. I'm sorted.
I want my space Greg's. That'd be the best. Right. On that note, I'm going to end. because I need to go and have some food.
Yeah, I mentioned Wetherspoons. I'm hungry now.
God, imagine if we could go to the pub after this. How beautiful would that be?
Don't. Right.
Let's see what Boris says tomorrow.
Maybe one day.
Housekeeping. I will be on Economic Erudites Crusader Kings stream later, I think, if it's still going ahead. I'm a bit annoyed. I did a very impromptu stream last night when some people wanted to play Minecraft, so we did that. And I'm slightly annoyed that it did as well as it did because I don't want to be a Minecraft YouTuber. Fuck that.
Why do you keep doing it then?
I don't want to play Minecraft. I want to talk about Mars and shit.
Mate, every time I'm on Discord, I see you on Minecraft. Don't give me that shit.
Why not both?
Shut up.
Stream Minecraft while talking about Mars.
But that's literally what somebody suggested. Like, because I swear, if you put Minecraft in the title, you get loads of random. I got loads of random people turning up, and they were like, "Oh, what's this? I'm new here."
Yeah, like, it'll just get picked up by the algo.
I don't normally do this. I normally talk about science and tech and politics and stuff.
That lol nerd and left.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll catch you on Economic Erudites stream later. If people are interested in watching me probably destroy Cringe Walker, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you very much everyone, and I'll see you later. Take care.
Bye.
See ya.